The sauna companies that charge a premium for high EMF or high VOC saunas are the same price as the sauna companies who have made it a priority to cut that down and to mitigate those and to deliver safe healing health equipment for you and your family. Yeah, so for 2024, I mean, we've had a lot of requests from the Facebook group. If you're not in there, it's the Certified Sauna community on Facebook. It's free to join. Just give us a couple days to approve you, make sure no bots or spammers. We've had a lot of requests to change how the Certified Sauna list or the sauna recommendations are set up. And I agree. I think people are right. I think the way that I've done it, I did the best that I could to give people a foundational reference point to try to choose healthy, safe equipment to get into their house. But it's not a fit for everyone. And then ever since, what we went through in 2020, prices have just skyrocketed. I mean, stuff that we used to get for $1,700, $1,800 is now over $3,000. The equipment hasn't changed, but the price sure has. And so that requires some adjustment on my part and on everything that we do. So one of the recommendations from some members of our group is, why don't you have a tiered set of recommendations for sauna, either based on quality or based on price. So we're going to do both. And what I'd like to do is either do A, B, C, D, E, or F class saunas, or tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I like the A, B, C, D, E, F, because we could automatically say if it's in an F class, this is probably something you don't want to bring into your house without, the intention is not really to bash companies. It's just, I get really upset when you spend hard-earned cash on something and you get it and it's not what they said it was going to be. So you'd be upset too if you had a giant pile of sand dust in your house on a sauna that supposedly is clean, and then you bring it in and it's leaking stuff everywhere. You're like, oh my God, what is this? So as an example, a tier 1 or an A class, sauna would meet the certified sauna recommendations. Anything below that isn't necessarily going to be on the certified sauna list as we've done it in the past. Well, what qualifies for that? To be on the certified sauna list, you got to be low EMF, low VOC. And it's not just a random number that somebody can pull from a third-party EMF report. It's got to be me in the sauna with body voltage of less than 200. It's got to be less than 200 in electric fields. It's got to be less than 2 milligauss, ideally less than 1 milligauss, based on your background readings from where you're measuring the equipment. I don't want saunas that have 28,000 millivolts of body voltage, or 28 volts body voltage, things like that. There's no reason to stress the nervous system like that. A lot of the companies refute that this is even an issue. They'll say things like, when you start asking them, well, do you guys mitigate electric fields? Is your low EMF actually low? Or is it just you take a heater out of it, send it to a lab, they hang it on a scale, and you say, oh, well, what about the rest of the wires and all the other equipment that's in the sauna? That's what the body is subjected to, so why don't you test the sauna in the way that it's actually used? So then what happens is you get into this dialogue, and it's like, eventually they get to the point where they won't just come out and say and be honest, we don't want to change the production of our saunas because it's, we're happy making the money that we do selling them the way they are. We're not going to change the production line, make improvements, lower these. We don't think it's important. So the conversation then turns to, well, it always goes this way. It's like, oh, well, is EMF even really that harmful? Is it proven? Is there scientific studies that prove, that electric fields specifically stress the nervous system or do this or would take you out of a parasympathetic state? And they're missing the point. It's because they're selling the equipment instead of buying it. I started out as a buyer and I'm still a consumer and a user of this equipment to this day. And that's why it's important to me. I don't really care if somebody wants to go buy a high EMF sauna or a high VOC sauna, and they don't care about that. It's not important to them in their life. It's important to me because I use this, my family uses this, and I believe that those are metrics that should stay in alignment with like a toward health or a health improvement direction rather than a degradation. And so the conversation always turns to, well, if it's not proven, that this field from our sauna has this detrimental effect, then why does it even matter? Well, you're missing the whole point. I'm paying hard-earned money. You're advertising it to be a certain thing. It shows up and it's not that thing. And now in order to refute that point, you just skip over it and you say, oh, well, we don't have a study on our specific equipment that it causes this harm to people. Well, that's not the idea of what we do here at Certified Saunas or the whole Certified Sauna community. It's, I expect to get what I pay for, number one. And I also expect to get a product that doesn't suffer from false advertising or misrepresentation. So EMF, for example, is a plural term. Electromagnetic fields. That's two things. There's other sources of EMF as well, but they just show you one thing, or they'll use a cheap meter and cherry pick testing zones. So an A class of a sauna recommendation is going to meet all the stringent requirements. It's going to be your Radiant Health. It's going to be some of the clear lights. It's going to be a couple other brands. There's a new one coming to market in 2024 that I should be testing shortly. You don't know about that one yet. We keep these up to date. We track it in the Facebook group, making sure that people are having bad experience. We've removed great recommendations in the past because people get jerked around on price or shady sales tactics. Everything matters. It's from the customer experience when you call, to them not hounding them if you actually give them your home phone number, to not forcing you into a bunch of accessories or warranty add-ons or like overages that you really don't need to be spending. And if you do have an issue, do they live up to the warranty claims? Is the service good? Do you have to go create a ticket in a customer portal in order to submit a warranty claim? Or can you just call somebody and they say, yes, sir, I'm very sorry, we'll ship the part out to you tomorrow. Bang. So these things all go into an A-class recommendation. B-class, and I haven't decided exactly which brands are going to be in B-class, but it's going to be things that fall short of all those metrics. Not really short, but somewhat short. For example, I'll give you specific brand recommendations right now. The reason that Radiant Health Saunas has taken the cake for Sauna of the Year for multiple years in a row is because they nail all of those things and they stick with it. And if we do have an issue with something, I call them up and say, hey, this customer has this problem, needs to be fixed, and they get it done. They don't question it. They say, hey, I'm really sorry, we'll send you a replacement. They'll replace the whole sauna if they have to. To me, that's better service than a company that touts a lifetime warranty that makes you sign into a little customer portal to submit a warranty claim, and then they just run you in an endless loop of, oh yeah, we're getting to it, please be patient. It doesn't work. B-class is going to be saunas that fall short. Why isn't a Clear Light Sanctuary on the Certified Sauna list for years? Since the beginning of time, I have never really recommended a Clear Light Sanctuary. Clear Light Premier, yes. It's a spitting image of a Radiant Health sauna. It's the sister and the brother. Clear Light Sanctuary, no. The older models, they had higher EMF. There's felt glued to the back of the heater guard. There's a little bit more VOCs in them. I think that they're super hot on the legs and that you could better utilize that power to actually get a better hyperthermic response if you would focus it at the core. So it makes the back feel less intense, like the actual experience. They look really cool. They're harder to put together. I don't like the all glass front. I love the aesthetic of it. I don't like the big gaps in between the doors where the hinges are. It suffers from heat loss. The performance isn't any better. I think the wooden ones perform better. And I like far infrared heat that wraps the body, especially from the front. I don't like the full spectrum heaters that are on the front. I would prefer just to have far infrared panels. Why am I telling you all this? Well, because these things come into play. You buy this once and you use it for 15 years, and these little details are going to matter. They matter in your detox. They matter in the type of sweat that you get, the way it preheats, your overall experience. And you would never know that unless you tried a bunch of them side by side. So to me, that's a B-class sauna. Is it terrible at EMF? Is it terrible at VOC? Is it the worst thing in the world that it takes an extra 2 hours to put together and align the glass and get the door hinges, straight so that the doors don't overlap and hit each other when they close? No. If that's what you want, if you're claustrophobic, or if you like an open feel cabin and you want an all glass front, by all means. And so in the past, I was very dogmatic about, oh, well, this doesn't meet the requirements, right? Like I set the milligauss rating or the threshold, the body voltage, the electric fields, the VOC measurements that we do. And if it didn't meet that requirement, it wasn't on the certified sauna list and it wasn't a recommended sauna. The problem is things are so expensive now, they're becoming harder and harder to come by. Things are tightening up, and we need to loosen up those recommendations so that people that don't have the budget can still get the healing heat therapy of sauna in their house. It's the same reason that you don't see like a Sunlighten on the certified sauna list. There's a few reasons for that. Their sales team is very aggressive. If you call them, give them a Google Voice number because they will hound the ever-living heck out of you until you buy something. You'll buy something just to get them to go away. Number two, they don't mitigate electric fields, but they show low EMF, reports. I don't like that. Number three, some of the far infrared saturation is lacking in their cabin design. So if you look at where the legs are, it's not detrimental to the whole thing. You'll still get a decent sweat in there. But a lot of times they'll have a heater in the floor, but they don't have any leg heaters. There's no calf heaters. You'll have side and back heaters, but depending on the model, whether it's a signature amplifier or impulse, these things differ, and you got to pay attention to that. Because what happens is when you're in something like a Radiant Health sauna that has heaters at the back, heaters in the bench, heaters behind the calves, heater under the feet, and if you're in a bigger than a 1 or 2 person model, heaters in the front facing you. The whole body is wrapped in far infrared. What does that contribute to? Faster preheat time, faster sweat, greater hyperthermic response, better detox because you're getting far infrared penetration everywhere. It's helping you liberate those toxins. And when you don't have that, you're paying the same amount of money, if not more in some cases. And so for me, that's not something that would be on the certified sauna list. However, maybe I've been wrong in the past. Maybe that's a B class or a C class sauna. And so this is how we're going to structure this. And I'll give a pro and a con of each. So if that's something that you're interested in, if you want a fancy sauna like an Impulse that has circulating modes, I got to be really careful with this because you start getting into, full spectrum saunas. I can't just turn a blind eye to the fact that there's an array of 50 low watt LEDs behind a grill on 3 sides of the sauna that's supposedly going to create photobiomodulation or red light therapy in the sauna. It's not happening, despite what the marketing says, despite me coming out with A, B, C, D, E, F grade, tier 1, tier 2, tier 5 grades of sauna recommendations. But what I would like to do is open up these recommendations so there is a tiered list, and so that if somebody has a budget of $1,000, here's good options. Here's stuff that you could do if you really want to, but I'd probably stay away from it because of this. Cut the learning time down, get more healing heat therapy into more households. At the end of the day, just be sweating. Some sauna is better than no sauna. If you buy a high EMF sauna or a high VO sauna, it's not going to kill you right away. There's time for education. There's time to make things better, for you to get better equipment. It's not the end of the world. My thing is, it doesn't cost any more. Like the sauna companies that charge a premium for high EMF or high VOC saunas are the same price as the sauna companies who have made it a priority to cut that down and to mitigate those and to deliver safe healing health equipment for you and your family. And so my thing is, do your research. If that's not important to you, then it doesn't matter. Pick any grade of sauna that you want. But I want to serve the people who are in the middle too. And from until now, we've kind of had to alienate that group. If you've got $1,500, do you really want to spend $1,500 on a relaxed portable sauna? Well, if you want a portable sauna, it's one of the hottest ones that you can get. In other cases, if you just want to try infrared sauna to see if it's for you for the first time, do you really want to spend $1,500 on a little zippy tent with a chair? Like, it's a stretch for people. So it's like, well, okay, well, what about the $500 one? What about the $700 and $800 one? Where is it worth the price jump? If I spend $15 for a portable, could I have just spent $25 on a Costco sauna and get a wooden cabin with speakers and lights and a glass door? Are those still detrimental? Have they improved this? So what I want to do is go through each one of those for each class and get down to like the B and the C, maybe some D class. And then F class, I don't really want to focus on. I want to have a small list of things to avoid. And I'll just tell you right now, any of the old ceramic saunas that have like a red felt glued to the heater guard, those are also produced usually from the same factory that uses adhesives and glues in the wall construction. And what happens is a ceramic rod heater has a very high surface temperature. And they put a metal grill in front so that a child can't stick their hand in there and burn themselves on the rod or whatever. And then there's felt glued to that so that it dampens the surface. So if you were to touch it, it doesn't burn the skin. The issue with that is the surface temperature of those is very hot. And it basically rises enough to get past the set point of the adhesive that the felt was put on with, which off gases, becomes pliable again, right? And so these things you don't want to sit in a hot box that has glues and adhesives that are heating up that you can really smell on the nose, and you can clearly see them on a VOC meter, or using cheap materials that have formaldehyde or other types of off-gassing. I mean, this is not a piece of IKEA furniture that sits next to a window that we can just ventilate. This is a different situation because it's a closed breathing environment, right? And you want to get health benefits. You don't want it to be detrimental to your health. So the absolute things, the only things that I tell people, there's only been a couple instances where I'll tell somebody, get this sauna out of your house. Do not buy this under any circumstance. Yeah, I'm a little bit of an EMF Nazi and I'm really into this or I'm really into that. You have to remember, I'm a guy that creates EMF sleep sanctuary in my house. When I sleep, I'm under 0 body voltage. There's no RF pollution whatsoever in my house when I sleep. When we're running camera gear, I've got Wi-Fi, we got wireless, we use Bluetooth. The cameras half the time have Bluetooth. In order to test saunas, we have to use equipment and cameras and stuff with all that disabled. Otherwise, it interferes with the tests, right? That's why I have that little wooden mount. People think it's for fun. The reason that the meters are on a wooden mount is to disconnect my body from interference with the meter. And so nobody's talking about that. You see these, social media posts where somebody goes into a sauna and it's, oh my God, it's high EMF. And then one of the sauna companies, a salesperson, will see it and they'll be like, oh, you wouldn't believe the customer I had last week. They bought such and such a sauna. It was super high EMF. There's no basis in reality. They don't have any testing experience. They don't have any controls that even validate that that's valid, real. And a lot of times people are using the wrong meter, no education, don't know what they're talking about. It's very important to me to maintain the integrity of these lists to the stringent requirements that I expect. When I give a company $5,000, I expect that thing performs exactly how they said it does. Absolutely. If I find out that it's misrepresented, if I find out that it's false marketing, if I find out that they're making claims and it doesn't live up to the claims, this is an unregulated industry. Anybody can say anything that they want. And that's what happened to me. When I first started trying to get into buying saunas, I didn't want to buy a sauna. I was at a functional medicine doctor's office and I was like, you know what? I hear you. I hear you saying it's going to help my health, but I don't really believe it. I've used sauna before and it didn't do anything. She's like, yeah, but did you use an infrared? I'm like, yeah, nah, I don't think so. And so I know what it's like, to look at investing thousands of dollars and then hopefully help you avoid what I went through was the things showing up and then it's not what they said it was. And that creates a lot amount of frustration, a huge amount of anger. If you look at my earlier videos from 5 years ago, they're very different than today. Today I'm like, oh yeah, great. Everybody should use a sauna. Any sauna is better than no sauna. Even if it's high EMF, you should keep it. You should do this, you should do that. But I'm very much, pro-consumer, like, hey, get educated. Make sure you're getting your money's worth. If a company makes claims that it's, this healthy or, whatever, don't let people argue with you and say, oh, well, such and such hasn't been proven. There's case after case after case after case of different types of leukemia and all kinds of issues with kids in various countries that have issues when they're subjected to certain compounds, exposures, living next to cell towers. Granted, that's an entirely different type of EMF. But if you think that it doesn't matter at all, right, that's your choice.
And that's why you're making this list.
Yeah, well, that's why we're expanding the list. Because I'm still in agreement that some sauna is better than no sauna. The benefits outweigh the cons. I hate getting into the arguments because I come across as like a fear monger of EMF, when in fact, I'm just super educated about what actually happens and what creates an emission. And I can't stand it because all these companies are coming out with little stickers that go on your cell phone. And these $2,500 harm, I have one inside. You guys don't know this because I won't dare tell you to go and buy one of these things. But I do buy them and I do test them to make sure that I'm not wrong. There's no way in hell that one of these little harmonizer things or something that you wear around your neck or a sticker that you put on your phone is changing the output or mitigating an actual field measurement. We stick with the word output from a source. It's not causing any attenuation from the source whatsoever. So this idea that you're just going to use whatever you want or live next to a cell phone tower and put a sticker on your phone or wear a pendant or spend $2,000 on some copper coil bull that sits on your counter is nonsense. If it makes you feel better, I'm all about placebos. But we don't do that here at Certified Saunas. And you won't find that on the Certified Sauna list. It's, it's got to be exactly what it says it should be.
So if there's something that you like from today's video or you're looking for more resources, at CertifiedSaunas.com on the homepage, there's recommended sauna resources. If you're looking for a brand, a size, a model, reviews, installation videos on how to put them together, we have step-by-step tutorials that show you how to receive a sauna, how to prep your house for it. We're trying to make it as easy as possible for you so you don't have to wade through 4 hours of YouTube video to find the exact thing that you're looking for. But a lot of times in these episodes, I'll mention sauna hats, sauna accessories, different types of electrolyte supplements. If you want to put an infrared sauna in a cold basement or unheated garage, there's accessories or additional supplemental heat that you can add to it. If you continue down, you'll find everything that you're looking for that we've mentioned today. In addition to CertifiedSaunas.com, you can go to the Facebook group, which is the Certified Sauna community on Facebook. It's our sauna group. There's no hardcore pitching. There's thousands of members in there that offer really, really, really good advice. I learn from them every day. I'm also contributing and answering questions in there every day. In addition to that, you can go to the Amazon store. A lot of people have requested on where to buy sauna towels, sauna hats, different various supplements, minerals, electrolytes. Now we have all this in one place on various lists on this Amazon store. So you can go to this one link and everything will be right there for you. See you in the next video.